This is Gate City Blue Devil football on WGAT 1050. Tonight's broadcast is also being filmed by GCTV and will be shown on Channel 30 at 8:30 Sunday night. Tonight, Coach Bill Housewright's Blue Devils play host to the Lebanon Pioneers of Coach John Adams. The winner of this game has won the Clinch Mountain District Championship the past 3 years. The Pioneers have knocked the Devils out of the playoffs the last 2 years. Last year, winning 21-12 in the Region D title game. Last week, both teams won their second game of the 2010 season. The Pioneers came from behind to defeat Tazewell 31-24. The Blue Devils traveled to Sullivan South and defeated a very talented Rebel team 31-28. The Blue Devils are led by fullback Joseph Vaughn, who's rushed 44 times for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tailback Dusty Clark, steadily recovering from a growing pull, has rushed 19 times for 77 yards. Sophomore quarterback Nick Bowen is showing improvement each week. Nick has completed 14 of 23 passes for 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's also rushed 11 times for 63 yards. The Pioneers are led by tailback Chris Belcher and sophomore quarterback John Duty. Duty threw 2 touchdown passes last week, including a 43-yard pass to tight end John Honaker for the game winner. Mark, the real season starts tonight as the Clinch Mountain District play begins here at Legion Field.
Well, no question about it. There's 4 games we play that are more important than any of the others, and that's the 4 Clinch Mountain District games. The first one's tonight against Lebanon, the team that's won the game in the regular season for the last several years, has won the district championship and hasn't won the region championship. So what do you want to do tonight? Well, you want to win tonight and worry about the rest of it later. And obviously, you're first and foremost, you want to win the district. And that's, like I say, starts here tonight against the Pioneers. Pioneers certainly last year, they took a pretty good hit to graduation. They lost a lot of players, but they've got a solid program under Coach Adams, so they'll field a pretty good team year in and year out, and they will again here tonight. Certainly playing without their starting quarterback, though, can't be a good thing.
Yeah, they lost Nick Smith, I believe, in the Powell Valley game. Is that right?
I believe it was, and he'll probably be back in a week or two, so that'll certainly help them out. But still, a dangerous Lebanon team, always well coached, and they'll come out here and get after us tonight, and we'll have to be ready to play. And it's no big secret. It's, like I said earlier, it's a big game. As the winner of this game has won the district championship the last several years. So, probably not going to feel much different about that right now. With the other district opponents, Virginia High certainly playing improved football. Lee and Battle still trying to rebuild their program. So the winner of this game's got a big leg up on the district championship. But the Blue Devils last week come off a big victory over Sullivan South, a hard-fought victory, and certainly, at least to the untrained eye, played the best football game they played this year, and against a quality opponent. So. Starting to get people healthy, like you said, and look for big things out of the Blue Devils as we go forward.
Oh, Buddy Tim Hill here told me before the broadcast that Lebanon had never won at Legion Field.
To my knowledge, they never have, and being biased, that wouldn't hurt my feelings if that just keeps right on going. I mean, I wear blue and I bleed blue, so. But I know they're a quality program, and they'll be a tough win for the Blue Devils here tonight. We're about 7 minutes or so away from the opening kickoff, as the Lebanon marching band has just about concluded their pregame performance. So we'll turn it back to the station, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening kickoff shortly.
Back at Legion Field, where the captains from Lebanon and Gate City are meeting at midfield. And we'll give you the starting lineups and try to still pick up the coin toss here in just a minute. But the starting lineup for the visiting Lebanon Pioneers: at wide receiver, number 23, Brian Sayer. The other wide out will be Dylan Perkins, 5'10", 165 junior, number 32. The tackles, number 65, Blake Bostic. and number 68, Jared Music. The guards, Lane Addison, number 55, and Evan Campbell, number 51. The center, number 57, Matt Nunley. The tailback, number 5, Chris Belcher. Fullback, number 4, Justin Adams. And the quarterback will be John Duty. The tight end for Lebanon will be number 18, John Honecker. Now the starting lineup for the Gate City Blue Devils will be at wide receiver, number 42, Montana Morris. At left tackle, number 70, Daniel McMurray. Left guard, number 73, Cody Vaughn. At center, number 55, Austin Reed. Right guard, number 54, Cody Davidson. Right tackle, number 68, Austin Dockery. The tight end will be number 8, Michael Calton. The H-back will be number 44, Seth Clark. Fullback will be number 31, Joseph Vaughn. Tailback will be number 15, Dusty Clark. And the quarterback for the Blue Devils will be Nick Bowen, number 10. As we're trying to pick up the coin toss.
I think what they do, Larry, evidently at these coin tosses now, they must read the whole Federation rule book because it takes forever to have a coin toss anymore.
It looks like Lebanon won the toss and deferred their choice to start of the second half, so the Blue Devils will come out receiving the football, and our offense will hit the field first. So evidently Coach Adams figures that he may have the Gate City offense figured out. But most coaches will, if you win that coin toss, they want to put their defense on the field first. So I don't know that it's so much putting your defense on the field as it is starting the second half with your offense.
Well, whichever way works pretty good. I like to play defense first.
Yeah.
And if there's any nerves, I think it's probably a little easier to play defense first.
Probably is. As the Pioneers just now come back on the field. And we're just a minute or two away from the opening kickoff here. And we're not exactly sure. There's a number of kids on the Lebanon roster, or that aren't on the Lebanon roster. We were watching them warm up, and they had a young man, number 19, that looked like he might be their place kicker, and he definitely isn't on their roster in anything we got. So we've run into that before. I think we ran into that at Tazewell. We had a player that wasn't listed on the roster, and finally able to pick up information, find out who he was. But with us up here in the Crow's Nest, I don't think we're going to see anybody that can give us that information about Lebanon.
Well, we'll just call them by the number.
That's all we can do. I miss their names most of the time anyhow. Back deep for the Blue Devils to receive the opening kickoff on the near side will be Montana Morris. Far side will be Joseph Vaughn. And kicking off is going to be Adams. So Justin Adams, number 4, will be kicking off. He's says 6 foot, 180 pounds.
If he weighs 180, if he weighs 180 pounds, he's got lead in his pocket.
I got the wrong Adams. It's Trevor Adams, 5'7", 130, the senior.
Well, big game set to get underway.
As we're waiting on the referee signal, and Adams approaches the football, hits a end-over-end bouncer, is fielded at the 33 by the Blue Devils and run up across the 40 to about the 42-yard line.
Aaron Kaiser, yeah.
Kaiser on the return that time for Gate City. So Gate City will start out in good field position.
Yeah, I'll take it at the 40 anytime.
You know, I was watching him down there when I was watching both those guys kick, and he never kicked the ball hardly anywhere compared to the other kid. But that's one way of keeping it out of your deep back hands, I guess, and kicking short to an up back. Blue Devils come out with kind of a spread formation. Quarterback, running back on each side, hand off to Clark out of the left halfback to right halfback spot. It gets across midfield. 45, stiff arms a man, is tripped and finally goes down at the 11 and 30-yard line. So Dusty Clark picks up 40 yards on the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, got a couple of good blocks and really didn't get met there until he was downfield.
Once he got around the end, it wasn't too much interference.
No, there wasn't.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Gate City at the 11 and 30. And Clark checks out. And Vaughn checks in at the, not Vaughn, but Franklin checks in his spot as Bowen on a naked. No backs into backfield, completes the pass to Franklin.
Pass complete to number 14, Corey Franklin.
About a 2-yard gain down to the 28-yard line.
Made by Justin Adams and Evan Campbell. Gain of 2 yards.
Dusty Clark back into the lineup for the Blue Devils, along with Aaron Kaiser. Kaiser's going to line up at a tight end. Devils going to go with 2 tight ends here. Full house backfield. And the right halfback goes in motion. Hand off to Vaughn up the middle, and he's stacked up after a gain maybe of 3 down to the 25. So inside running, Lebanon had it stacked up pretty good. Looked like somebody had Vaughn almost by the helmet twisting his neck back.
Yeah, I saw his I think they had their hand on top of his helmet, maybe.
Seth Clark will check back in at the H-back spot for the Blue Devils. Be 3rd down and 5. 10:35 to go here first quarter. Devils go with the wing back on the left. They hand it off to Vaughn. He gets it across the 25, fights for yardage, and gets down close to 20. Needs to make the 20 for a first down, and the way that official came in from the far sideline, I believe he's got it.
Yep, should be a first down.
First and 10 at the Pioneer 20-yard line for the Blue Devils. Gate City using a lot of different people
Ball
here.
is at the 11 and 20-yard line.
Drake Miller will check in now for Gate City. Probably at a tight end spot. They're going to split him out wide to the right. 2 flankers to the left side for Gate City. Bowen, that quarterback, rolls to his left, throws a pass over the middle, complete to Clark. Inside the 10, brought down at about the 7-yard line of 11. So it'll be first and goal for Gate City at, we'll call it the 7.
Ball at the 11 and 6-yard line. First and goal, Gate City.
The first down to go with 9:55 to go. Blue Devils have marched right down the field, aided by a 40-yard run by Dusty Clark on first down after the kickoff. Now the Devils go with 2 backs. They're in the shotgun. High snap, able to hand it off to Vaughn, cuts it in the middle, and is stacked up after he gets across the 5 down to about the 4. Pretty big hole there, but Lebanon closed it up pretty quick.
Tackled by Evan Campbell and Lane Addison.
It'll be second down and goal from, well,
Gain of 1 on the play.
only a 1-yard
Second down at the
gain.
5-yard line.
He spotted on the 5.
Blue Devils get Logan Russell in the game on me.
Maybe the first time I've seen him on offense.
Not many times.
He's at a wing back on the right. Devils go unbalanced line, strong side to the right. Hand off to Vaughn, and he only gets a yard.
Hand off to Joseph Vaughn.
Down about the 4-yard line.
Stop made by number 73, Robert Wicks.
Robert Wicks on the tackle that time for Lebanon. So it's going to be third down and goal from the, well, it looks like the 3 is where the yard marker is. So really the Devils got 2 plays to get 3 yards.
3-yard line.
Now Russell's a wing back on the left-hand side. Split backs in the backfield. They hand off to Vaughn, and he stood up and lost a yard. Hit at the 5. So it's going to be 4th down and goal now from the 5-yard line.
Tackle made by
Ball
Joseph
right in the middle
Baker.
of the field, so we see if Coach Haltrite looks like he's going to go for it here instead of take the field goal.
Yeah, I believe I would too here early. Just nowhere to run. I mean,
No,
they did a lot of that. If you remember in the region championship game last year, they just wouldn't let us run it.
sure did. Down to 12 seconds on the play clock. Devils come to the line with 2 wing backs, 1 to each side, and Vaughn is standing tailback. Now Clark goes in motion. They pitch it to Clark, cuts it inside, and he stopped at about the 2. So Lebanon will take over on downs at their own 2-yard line.
Tackle by Justin Adams and Evan Campbell.
That was a deep pitch, and time Clark turned it up inside. They had people waiting on it.
Yeah, we just not getting people blocked.
So the Pioneers with it, 1st and 10 on their own 3-yard line. 7:40 to go first quarter, no score. Devils stopped on downs at the 3-yard line of Lebanon. Duty under center. Belcher the standing tailback. Duty on a quarterback sneak, wedges up forward.
Number 7, John Michael.
To maybe the 4, gained a yard.
Stop made by Seaver Elliott and Aaron.
We got read in the paper where Coach Adams used a fake punt our last week to flip the field a little bit and get better field position. And I think he did that in the second quarter. They have 2 wideouts to the left, tight end on the right end, or in the I formation. Duty hands off to his tailback, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Still fights up across the 5, gained a couple yards up to the 6, looks like.
Number 5, Chris Belcher carries.
So Belcher on the carry. He's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Pioneers.
Jay Howington. Third down 7.
2 wideouts to the right. Let's see if Homemaker might be one of them. Nope. They're still in the eye. Now they put the flanker on the right side in motion. He comes over and sets as a tight end. They hand off to Belcher, and he's going to be stopped short of his first down at about the 8. Had to make the 13-yard line for a first down. So the Pioneers will have to punt here.
And number 44, Seth Clark. Brings up 4th and 4.
Blue Devils will drop back Joseph Vaughn deep. Punting for Lebanon.
Number 56, Dalton Gilbert.
Dalton Gilbert. It's a good snap. Devils come with pressure and block it. And if they can fall on it, but it's knocked out of the end zone, so the Blue Devils will come up with a safety. I believe the man that blocked that was Montana Morris. Who else?
Yeah, I believe that's who it was. So Blue Devils go on top here, 5:41 to go in the first quarter. They lead 2-0 back in 60 seconds.
From their own 20-yard line.
Lebanon now will have to kick off
And Montana Morris.
after the safety. This kickoff will come from the 20. And back for the Blue Devils is going to be Morris again on this side and Vaughn on the other side. They'll punt the ball with Dalton Gilbert doing the punting here. Blue Devils, deep guys are standing at the 11 and 30. And it's a high spiral that's going to be fielded by Russell at about the 38. Gets up to midfield and is finally brought down on the Lebanon side at the 49-yard line.
Tackled by Logan Baker and number 87.
So the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10 at the Pioneer 49. They lead by a score of 2-0. Had 2 strikeouts and a walk in that first inning.
1st and 10, Gate City.
Yep.
And a base hit after 2 singles.
Well, we kind of struck out on our first offensive series.
Yeah, we did.
Once we got, 1st and goal at the 7 or something.
Devils go with 2 wing backs and Vaughn the standing tailback. Unbalanced line, strong side to the right. Hand off to Vaughn. He's hit in the backfield and breaks that tackle. He's up to the 20, the 25, and finally drugged down inside the 20. Maybe right on the 20. So Vaughn broke the tackle in the backfield. Was able to sidestep a couple of defenders and get it inside the Pioneer, well, right on the 20-yard line. 5:25 to go first quarter. Gate City on top, a score of 2-0. Devils come with 3 wideouts on the left, 1 on the right. Only back in the backfield with the pass is complete to Dusty inside the 10 down to about the 8. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 8 as Bowen hit Clark. Vaughn was the only running back in the backfield.
Yeah, that's about 3 or 4 times we've ran that play. I think Franklin caught one. Dustin's caught a couple. So, you know, that spot's open.
Yeah, it's about an 8 or 10 yard pass is all it amounts to. Now we go with the same setup except just to the right side this time. Those 3 wide outs on the right. As he looks, throws it into the end, throws it away in the end zone. He had a man wide open at the 2 yard line. Collier was wide open at the 2, not a defensive back within 10 yards of it. Not Collier, but Bird, really. So it'll be second down now and goal from the 8. That's one of those things that you...
Second and goal at the 9-yard line.
He had time and not a whole lot of pressure. It's just checking down on each one of your receivers.
Well, that's part of the growing process.
Oh, yeah. Collier again, this time Collier splits out wide to the right. Devils go in a wishbone. Hand off to Clark, running right, and he's brought down inside the
Give this to number 15, Dusty
10
Clark.
down to about the maybe the 7 yard line. On the game, maybe a yard on the play. It's going to be third down and go from the 7 yard line up. They'll make it the 8 yard line of Lebanon. So really not much gain at all. Devils this time go with a wing back to each side. Kelton split out wide to the left. Russell goes in motion. Hand off is to Vaughn. This time he goes 8 yards for a touchdown.
So 4:15 to go here in the first quarter. Gate City on the board for the second time. Joseph Vaughn carries it in, gives Gate City an 8-0 lead, and the Blue Devils will have Logan Bird on to attempt the extra point. It'll be Russell to snap, Franklin to hold.
Extra point attempt by number 22, Logan Bird.
Kick is up and the kick is good. So the Blue Devils go on top of Lebanon by the score 9-0.
We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Bird's going to kick it. Logan Bird's going to kick off. Maybe his first kickoff of the season.
I believe it is.
Back deep on the far side is going to be Belcher. And on the near side is going to be Perkins. Dylan Perkins. And high end over end kick. That Perkins is going to field at the 7 yard line. Gets up across the 20, breaks out into the open, and is finally brought down by Bird at the 40 yard line. So a good kickoff return.
No, it's Seibert, I think.
Was it Seibert?
Yeah, when Logan kicked off, he came straight to the sideline as he can't.
I thought it was.
He can't have any contact.
I didn't mean that.
Was it
Bird. I
Tyler
thought it was
Bird?
number 2.
Well,
Tyler
maybe
Bird.
it was. I saw 2 and I saw
We
Seibert.
got a couple of birds, so I'm going to have to.
But that's not a real good job of kick coverage, especially with a high kick like we had.
No, that was a good kick for high school, high fly.
Yep.
So the Pioneers first and 10 at their own 41, I formation. Judy takes the snap, hands off to the tailback. Belcher gets a big hole, gets across the 45 up to about the 47.
Tackle made by Seth Clark.
Spotted at the 48. A gain of 8 yards almost on the play.
Gain of about 7. Second down 3.
College 7 yard gain, make it second down to 3. They have to get to the 49. Blue Devil 49 for a first down. They stay in that eye with 2 wide outs to this side, to the right side. Now the flanker goes in motion from right to left. And Judy hands off to Belcher, running now the tailback spot. Gets across midfield and has his first down at the Blue Devil 48, looks like. Morris had to come up from his cornerback spot to make the tackle. So they're doing a pretty good job of blocking our ends and defensive tackles so far in this drive.
Well, I certainly don't look for Lebanon to throw the football very much.
No, we watched him warm up. He didn't appear to be able to throw the ball very well. They list him at 6 feet, but he doesn't look 6 feet from here, does he? Now they are in a shotgun this time. Judy takes a snap. Fakes. No, he handed off to the first man. Ball comes loose.
Handoff to number 5, Chris Belcher.
Belcher able to fall on it for a loss of about 2 yards back to midfield.
We had them both stopped that time, whichever one was going to carry it.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Be second down and 12 for the Pioneers. 2:30 to go first quarter. Gate City on top by a score 9-0. A safety and a touchdown resulting in 9 points for the Blue Devils. They go back to the I formation with wide out to each side. Judy looks over the defense. Takes the snap, hands off to the fullback, and he's tripped up after a gain of 2 back to the original line of scrimmage. That was Adams from the fullback spot.
Tackled by Aaron Kaiser.
It's going to bring up third down and 10 for Pioneers. .140 to go first quarter. Blue Devils on top 9-0.
Third down 10.
2 wideouts come to the right again. Pioneers pretty much on Adams. Has always been a high formation coach, seems like. As Judy rolls to his right, gets some pressure, throws the ball that is incomplete with his flag on the play, and the play's whistle dead, which pretty much tells you it might be an offensive penalty.
So it'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Pioneers.
Illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure against Lebanon. However, I do think that if you line up in the neutral zone defensively, that's a dead ball.
It's a dead ball also. Yep, sure is.
So it backs it up to the Pioneer 47-yard line. It'll make it third down and 15 with 1:18 to go here in the first quarter. This time they have Tripp set up to the right. One back in the backfield with Duty. Throws a little screen pass out here to Belcher, and the ball's loose, and it may be
They say
a lateral pass.
It is.
Ball's recovered by Gate City because the pass was a lateral, and Gate City takes over on the Lebanon 37-yard line.
Well, I don't know about that. I thought the ball went forward. I think that's a bad call.
I thought it was
Be interested.
close to being.
You have to watch it on film, but it
Yeah.
looked to me like he threw the ball forward. But
Gate City will take it.
yeah, you got that right.
53.1 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Blue Devils with a Pioneer turnover. Have it at the Lebanon 37. Bowen by himself looks, throws the pass over the middle. That's complete for about a 5-yard gain. That pass complete to Dusty Clark.
Pass complete to Dusty Clark. Tackle made by number 51.
Clark did a good job holding on to the football. He got hit just about the same time a football got there.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to do that in a minute. They're going to just keep wet, and then he'll do run a little stop and go, and he'll run by all of them.
Yeah, I'd say you're right.
Because they're biting on that a little more and a little more and a little more, and then eventually they'll go over the top with it, possibly.
Devils going to have to run one play here. 16 seconds on the clock, about 9 seconds on the play clock. Need to go 4 seconds, and they're going to be whistled. Now they're going to take a timeout, and
So-
just barely got it.
Gate City asks for a timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Blue Devils with a double wing set to the left. Hand out to Vaughn, running left. He's inside the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and finally brought down at the 6-yard line. As you come back on the radio side, Joseph Vaughn has run it from the 37 down to the 7-yard line or 6-yard line of Lebanon.
And that'll bring the close to the end of the first quarter with the score, Gate City 9, Lebanon nothing.
Back here at Legion Field to start the second quarter. Blue Devils on top of the Pioneers by a score of 9-0. And Gate City has it first and goal on the 6-yard line of Lebanon. Joseph Vaughn on the last play of the first quarter with only 6 seconds to go, ran it about 30 yards, and got it down to the 6. Devils now go with 2 wing backs set on the right. Vaughn the only back in the backfield with Bowen. Bowen on a quarterback keeper, rolls to his right. Lebanon has it. Bowen makes a great cut and goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
Just finally got it strung out enough and found the lane, and like you said, planted his right foot, cut back to the left, and able to get into the end zone. Give the Blue Devils a 15-0 lead here. First play into the second quarter. As Logan Bird will be on to attempt the extra point.
Franklin gets a snap down, and Bird gets it up and right through the middle.
11:50 to go, first half. Gate City leads 16-0.
Logan Bird's kickoff is fumbled at the 9-yard line by Belcher. He picks it up, and the Blue Devils bring him down at the 20.
Tackle made by number 32, Bo Morris.
So the Pioneers will take over first and 10 at their own 20, now trailing Gate City by a score of 16-0. They showed a little better running attack in the last series, Lebanon did. They stay in the eye, 2 wideouts to the right. They hand off to Belcher out of the tailback spot. And we miss a tackle on the end. He gets up to the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Gain of 6.
Stopped by number 15, Dusty Clark.
Dusty Clark has to come up from his safety position to
Gain of 6 yards.
make the tackle. They're blocking us in the middle pretty good. And that time we had somebody who was in position there to make a tackle. They will show pressure. Now they hand off on a play this time to Belcher, and he's drugged down from behind the line of scrimmage at about the 4-yard line.
Stop made by number 44, Seth Clark.
Seth Clark on the tackle that time. He almost horse-collared him.
Almost. Not quite, but almost.
That's a loss of about 3 on the play. He'll bring up third down and 7. 10:45 to go. First half, Gate City on top of Lebanon Pioneers by a score of 16-0. Beauty under center for Pioneers. Fakes to Belcher, rolls to his right, throws a pass out in the flat, intended for his tight end Honaker. A little high and incomplete, and the Blue Devils had great coverage with Dusty Clark out there step for step with Honaker.
Yeah, Joseph Vaughn got to the quarterback. He didn't have much of a chance.
So the Pioneers will have to punt.
Deep for Gate City, number 31, Joseph Vaughn.
And doing the punting is going to be
Number 18, John Honaker.
John Honaker, the tight end on offense, will do the punting. Vaughn back deep for the Blue Devils. High snap, Honaker able to pull it down, and then the kick is off of the side of his foot, but it goes out of bounds at the Blue Devil 45. Not a great kick.
Well, they wanted to kick it away from Vaughn. They didn't, They didn't want to kick it to him. I'll blame them.
So Gate City takes over again with good field position on their own 45-yard line.
First and 10 Blue Devils.
Blue Devils need somebody to get into the ball game. It looks like it's going to be Corey Franklin come in. Calton tight end. Wide out on the left is Morris. 2 backs in the backfield, and Franklin at a wing back spot. They hand off to Dusty Clark out of the left halfback spot, and he gets across the 45 to about the 46, maybe gained a yard on the play.
Tackle made by Morgan Stilner.
Almost like a draw.
Justin Adams.
Just not hardly enough hesitation to be a draw.
No
Be
gain on
second
the play,
down,
second
and
down 10.
well, call it second down and 10. No gain after they spotted it back. Devils this time with 2 tight ends and a full house. Handed off to Clark, gets a block on the corner, midfield. 45 and rolled down at the Pioneer 47-yard line. First and 10 for Gate City.
Picks up enough for a Gate City first down.
Who got that block on the corner? Did you see?
Ball at the Lebanon 43-yard line.
Should have been a tight end, you would think. Might have been Kelp. Wing back goes in motion from right to left. Little crossback this time, handed off to Bond. Grabbed in the backfield, but still able to fight forward for about 3 yards. As they grabbed his shirt, he gets it up to the Pioneer 40.
Stopped by Lane Addison and Justin
Gain
Adams.
of 3 will make it second down and 7.
Clock runs, 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Gate City on top 16-0.
So we have an official's timeout for an equipment repair for the Pioneers. Now we're ready to go. Second down and 7. 9:02 to go here. First half. Gate City on top 16-0. Double wing set. As this time he hand off to Bond. He only back in the backfield, and he gets down to about the 36. And that's going to be about third down and 4 for Gate City coming up. Adams on the tackle that time. Lebanon also has a number of players that play both ways.
Got 9 men on the line of scrimmage.
Full house. This time a handoff to Clark. Breaks it into the open and finally brought down at the 20, about the 23-yard line of Lebanon. First and 10, Gate City.
Picks up enough for a Gate City
Joseph
first down.
Vaughn will have to come out of the ball game.
Ball at the Lebanon
Injured
23-yard line.
a little bit. I noticed he was slow getting up off the ground.
Is that right? Yeah, I see now.
I believe he's okay. He just come
He's
out.
trying to get the right people in there. The right number of people, rather.
Micah Bledsoe checked in for him, for Vaughn.
Devils with 2 wideouts to the right. Double wing set. Bowen looks, throws a long pass. That's almost complete. I thought it was complete, but they say incomplete.
Yeah.
That was a well thrown pass, and it's thrown a long way, all the way across the field.
Yeah, I don't know exactly who.
Pass intended for Tyler Bird is
Tyler
incomplete.
Bird. Yeah, it hit him in a bad place. Hit him in the hand.
Yeah. I think he wanted to run before he caught it, don't you?
Well, I don't know. He just didn't catch it and would have had a good 8 yards probably on
would've
first
had a
down.
pretty good game.
Yeah.
So it's second down and 10 now for the Blue Devils, and Vaughn is back into the ball game. Double wing set. As Tyler Bird goes to motion, we got a flag on this play. It's probably going to be motion called on Gate City.
Yeah.
Vaughn picked up a yard or two, but
Tackle by Robert Wicks.
the referee threw the flag, and that's a pretty good indication that you probably had 2 people in motion back here. Kind of thought our wingback might have cut toward the line of scrimmage a step early. I noticed we do that a lot. I don't know. It's not so much we step that way as the angle our wingback
Illegal
takes
procedure against Gate City.
will run toward the line of scrimmage at the tail end of it. But it is a legal procedure called on Gate City. And that'll be a 5-yard walk-off. Make it second down and 15 from the Pioneer 28-yard line. Devils go full house. And off to Clark, running right again. 25, makes a move, 20, 15, and drugged down at about the 13-yard line, which is going to be real close to a first down.
That's a first down. first down by a half yard.
First down, Gate City.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Dusty Clark having a real game tonight, rushing.
Well,
Glad to see him healthy and able to do that.
well, Lebanon's come in, and they're not going to let Joseph run the football, so somebody else has to. And
Well, the thing I'm liking is I'm seeing some good blocking now this offensive line. Devils again full house. This time Bird goes in motion. Hand off to Clark again, running right. He's at the 10. And fights his way down to maybe the 7-yard line of the Pioneers. Blue Devils could get a first down on the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 5. Call it 4. 7 minutes to go. First half, Gate City on top, but score 16-0.
Second down, about 4. Ball at the 7-yard line.
This time the Blue Devils go with the wingback set. Hand off to Vaughn, running right, and he takes it into the end zone for a touchdown. 7-yard touchdown by Joseph Vaughn.
so 6:40 to go. Gate City jumps out on top 22-0. Logan Bird on to attempt the extra point.
Franklin again to hold for the Blue Devils. Russell to snap. Snap is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Blue Devils go on top of Lebanon by the score 23-0. Logan Bird prepares to kick off. Near side, Belcher, far side, Eads. A high end-over-end kick. It's going to, Belcher's going to field at about the 1-yard line. It's up to the 10, 15. And the Blue Devils have him corralled at about the 17-yard line.
That's a really good kick.
And really good coverage.
Yeah.
They had about 4 blue jerseys over there, and he had no place to go.
Montana Morris.
So they eventually spot it at the 16.
Ball spotted at the Lebanon 16-yard line. First and 10 Pioneers.
Pioneers in a 23-0 hole here. Come out with in the shotgun now. 2 wideouts to each side. And off to the back, is in the backfield with him, and no gain.
Hand off to number 4, Justin Adams.
Duty hands off to Justin Adams, who
Stop made by Michael
lines up
Bledsoe
at fullback in
and
their
Jay
eye.
Wellington.
No gain. Be 2nd down and 10.
No gain. Second down 10.
I was looking through the lineup today. They're really heavy on the right side. Their bigger kids are on the right side. Guards, tackle. And off again to the running back. And I think that was Adams again.
Number 4, Justin Adams.
And he gains maybe 3 yards.
Tackled by Logan Russell.
Only 2-yard gain to the 19. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 8. Pioneers again in the shotgun. Duty and Adams, the only 2 backs in the backfield. 2 wideouts to each side. Duty gets the snap, drops straight back, throws the pass over the middle. That is almost intercepted by Tyler Bird.
Pass intended for Chris Belcher.
Hit him in a bad place. Hit him in the hands again. He had to go up for it a little bit. But he played good, good defensive position on it.
Right. He was in good position. That's exactly right.
So Pioneers will have to punt. Homemaker again will punt for the Pioneers. Vaughn, the only deep receiver we have back here.
Now their punter only drops about 10 yards.
Yeah, he doesn't drop very far, does he?
No.
This time the snap is high over his head. Let's see if he's able to get the punt off. not even going to
No.
try. He's going to be sacked inside the 5 at about the 3-yard line. So the last time he punted, he had a high snap. This one was even higher. Longacre was able to get a hand on it to keep it from going all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, he pulled it down with his fingertips, but he didn't have much chance.
Gate City has it first and goal at the 4-yard line.
So it'd be first and goal at the 4 for the Blue Devils, with another opportunity to put points on the board. Devils come out with full house, 2 tight end. Bowen under center. Takes a snap. Hands off to
Miller.
Yeah, Miller out of the right halfback spot, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
Give it to number 25, Derek Miller. Touchdown.
So Miller carries it in to make the score 29-0 here with 4:59 to go in the first half. Logan Bird on again to attempt the extra point.
Again, Russell's snap is a good one, and again, Bird's kick is a good one. So the Blue Devils go on top by the score of 30-0. We're back. Legion Field, the Blue Devils.
Logan Bird will kick for Gate City.
Blue Devils again prepared to kick off with Logan Bird.
Deep for Lebanon.
Belcher and Eads back deep for the Pioneers. And Bird approaches, hits a high end-over-end kick. It drives Belcher. Well, I thought when you
Into
went
the end zone.
it was supposed to be a dead ball. But he brings it back, and Bird is the only man to make the tackle, and he drives him out of bounds short of the 45-yard line.
Did he not step into the end zone? Yeah, I don't.
The ball may not have crossed the goal
Well,
line. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but if he had possession of it standing in the end zone. No, the referee is wrong. If I don't care, the ball don't have to be in the end zone. If he catches the ball and he's standing in the end zone, it's dead. But that's all right.
So it's first and 10 for the Pioneers at their own 42-yard line. You kind of think the Blue Devils kind of relaxed on that a little bit because they thought it was going to be a dead ball.
And we're going to have a timeout called for by Lebanon. We'll take one too.
Oh. On the first play from scrimmage, Beauty drops back to throw the football, gets blasted, but gets rid of it. Adams catches it.
And he got hit pretty good.
He got hit pretty good. There's
Yeah.
no gain on the play, right at the line of scrimmage. Well, they might have gained a yard.
The one pitching and the one catching both got it.
Blue Devils that time had all 11 men within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yep, dared them. That's what they're doing to us. So
Back in the eye now, they hand off to Belcher out of the tailback spot. And we bring him down after a gain of about a yard.
Stopped by Seaver Elliott and number 78, Kyle Kilgore.
Yeah, I thought that was Kilgore in on the tackle that time. As we were rotating a few, well, no, Kyle's the starter on that defensive
Third
tackle.
down 8.
3rd and 8 with 3:50 to go in the first half. Gate City on top of the Pioneers with a score of 30-0. They're in the shotgun this time. Beauty takes a snap, gets some pressure, is hit, pass incomplete. Almost intercepted by Seth Clark. They're working on him, aren't they?
yeah.
Yep.
So the clock stopped with 3:38 to go here in the first half.
Devils have a chance to put another on the board with them.
Well, their punting has been, that's what happened in the Powell Valley game, if you remember.
Yeah.
Lebanon, Powell Valley. They kept giving Powell Valley the ball on their, and they
Another
just
high
about did
snap.
it again.
Homeacre this time
Uh-oh.
was able to get it off
Yep.
and a flag for 15 yards for roughing the kicker.
Yep.
As Vaughn makes the catch back at the 30. I don't see how Russell could have missed the football.
No, I don't either, but he hit him, and that's a penalty because, I mean, he wasn't trying to run. The punter wasn't trying to run with it. I mean, that was the proper call. We shouldn't have hit him there.
The only thing I could think was his angle might not have been the best in the world to block the punt, but he was right there, it looked like.
Well, of course, we're saying that we tipped it. And Coach Housewright wants a timeout. He wants to discuss the fact that he thinks, and obviously we wouldn't be arguing the point if we think probably we must have tipped the football, but
I don't see anything kept from touching part of it. I thought it was blocked all the way before you ever actually followed through with the kick, just with the position.
But anyway, we'll take a 30-second break and be right back.
Pioneers now, after the penalty for roughing the kicker, has the ball on the Blue Devil 42. They go back to the I formation. 3:28 to go, first half. Gate City on top. The score is 30-0. Devils jump into a six-man front now, back out of it. And a little busted play, and that results in a 2-yard loss. Either Judy went the wrong way or the back did. You figured Judy being a sophomore, he may have went the wrong way.
There was a lot of things busted on that, namely the guy that ended up with the football. Evidently, we really feel we got a fingertip on that football because there was more than one person questioning that. Good possibility we did. And if we did, there shouldn't have been a roughing call.
No. Second down and 12 now. Pioneers. Head off the tailback. Belcher, he fumbles the football.
That's got to be Gate City's football. Got to be.
Blue Devil, I don't know. We'll see how you actually come out this time.
Yeah.
And it is Gate City's football.
Looks like Kyle Kilgore is the man that recovered the fumble.
Either Kilgore or Aaron Kaiser, one of the two.
Kilgore had it when he stood up, so
I'd say that's a good indication that the guy recovered it.
Doesn't make any difference. We got it.
That's right. Blue Devils take over now on the fumble. And turnover-wise, how many is that? 3 for the Pioneers?
I believe it is.
1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 46. Wide outs to each side. Franklin on the right side, Morris on the left. And Bowen is sacked in the backfield. That play never had a chance. As Pioneers were looking past, and we didn't get them blocked, and Bowen is sacked for about a 10-yard loss.
Was that supposed to be a screen or what? I'm not. Something didn't look right.
He was waiting an awful long time, either for a receiver to clear or for a screen to set up. But
I know Coach Reed wasn't real happy with something. I guess the execution would be one thing he wasn't.
You don't normally see that many defensive people in the backfield unless it's a screen.
Right, that's why I'm thinking.
Now the Devils go to the wishbone. They hand off to Clark, and he rolls forward for a yard or two. 4-11 brings him down. 1:55 to go. First half. Gate City on top. 30-0 over the Lebanon Pioneers. 3rd and 18 for Gate City.
No gain. 3rd and 18.
Devils with 2 tight ends. Full house. Pioneers as Clark goes in motion.
Here
and again, they throw the screen this time to Bond with blockers in front. There's a clip over Gate City.
Yeah.
As Bond is able to get across midfield down to the 45, but Blue Devils clipped on that play.
Yeah, no question.
Tackle by number 68, Jared Music.
Or a push in the back or whatever you want to call it, but it block in the back. So
we hit him from behind, whatever.
We definitely did. We didn't have any trouble seeing his tag number, I do.
No, and every yellow flag in the pockets are out there, and that.
You know, when somebody with eyesight no better than mine and yours can see it, the referees have to.
Gate City
Holding? Well, I would have not exactly called it that, but that's okay.
So it'll still be 3rd down.
About the same.
That penalty is from the spot, so it's about where they were,
pretty close. Might
be 3rd and 20 or something, but And that's 2 pass plays in a row. Of course, that was a screen pass. And like you think, and you're probably right, the other one was probably supposed to have been a screen. 2 tight ends, full house. And off to Clark out of the right halfback spot, and he might have picked up a couple yards. So Blue Devils will have to punt for the first time tonight with going to be less than 40 seconds left when they punt here in the first half. And Dusty Clark, I see it. Dusty going to do the punting?
No,
or Miller.
Yeah, Miller. Clark's over here on the sideline.
Derek Miller will do the punting. Back deep
Deep for Lebanon, Eric Eads.
is Eads. Down to 21 seconds.
Just letting the play clock run down.
Devils using the play clock a lot. Miller gets off a high spiral that is going to be hit a Blue Devil player and be whistled dead at about the 28 of Lebanon.
Let's see, flag
Yeah,
on the far
flag.
side.
Against Gate City, I think.
No flag.
No flag.
Yep. So Lebanon will have time for 1 play. 7.5 seconds to go.
Ball's at the Lebanon 28-yard line.
First to 10 from the Pioneer 28. And they go up under center, and let's see. And stay in the eye with 2 wideouts to the left. And off to the fullback. He gets it up across the 30 to the 31. That'll be the last play of the first half. Score at halftime. Gate City 30, the Lebanon Pioneers nothing. Well, we were just watching the things going on the sideline, and it looked like Coach Bill Housewright had his rule book pulled out on the referee, Robert Odom, talking about that call of stepping
As long as he's a punter, you hit him with the leg in there.
into the end zone
As long as you don't lie, tip it.
with the football and is not a touchback. And we were notified by one of our area referees that the ball has to cross the goal line, but you would think when he steps back in the end zone, the ball's crossed the goal line.
Well, I
But
talked
no.
to Coach Jones, and he's under the same impression as the rest of us. That
Is
should
that
have been a dead ball. And the punt call was the right call because we didn't tip it, and the kickoff call was a bad call. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Why no? The Blue
Where would it have mattered if that was a 7-0 game late in the fourth quarter, and we kick it in the end zone, and then they run it out for a touchdown? That would have been a big difference. But
And we got maybe one correction here. We're not really sure. Tim got the Harlan, Kentucky Pale Valley score off the radio, 42-0, and our PA man announced it at 29-7. So
well, either way,
we're not playing
a whipping.
tonight, so we don't care.
It's a whipping either way. That's right.
Blue Devils will kick off to start the second half here.
As we begin the second half, kicking for Gate City, number 22, Logan Bird.
And Logan Bird will kick off. Back deep for Pale Valley. Pale Valley got him on my mind now. It's going to be Belcher, and
Deep
on
for
the near
Lebanon,
side,
number 5, Chris Belcher. And number 33,
Eric Eads on the far side. As so far tonight, I believe every kickoff has been handled by Belcher. And it's headed again his way, and this one, they don't have to worry about
I was
it.
going to say run
The ball
that one out.
breaks the plane of the goal line, almost the back line of the goal line, so it's a dead ball, and Lebanon will take over to 20. That's the way you'd like to see a kick off. No danger of a run back then. So the Pioneers will take over first and 10 on their own 20-yard line, trailing the Blue Devils by a score of 30-0. They appear to come up with 2 wideouts to the right side. Tight end Homeacre is lined up on the left side, and they stay in the I formation with John Judy, the quarterback. They will shift their defense. as the flanker on that side went in motion. They hand off to Belcher out of the tailback spot, and he gets a yard or two before he's wrapped up by a host of Blue Devils.
Tackle made by Aaron
Kaiser maybe the first guy to hit him. So Gate City's lining up close to the line of scrimmage and daring them to run the football, daring them to throw the football.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that they struggle in that area.
Same formation. This kid Homemaker though is pretty good athlete. That might be the safest place they can throw would be to the tight end. As they hand off again to Belcher running right, and he lost a yard, maybe back to the 19. They're going to mark it at the 20, so he lost 2 yards. It'll be third down and 10 now. Micah Bledsoe in at linebacker spot. Micah last week recovered a fumble at Sullivan South. It just came in there right to him.
That it did.
Shotgun this time for Lebanon. Judy gets the snap, looks, throws the pass over the middle. Blue Devils headed defense, and pass is intercepted at the 44-yard line by Mr. Bird. Tyler Bird picks it off. He made a good break on one early in the first half, and this one he went up and got it. Blue Devils take over now.
Personal foul, roughing the passer against the Blue Devils.
Take it over. Looks like we're going to have a 15-yard penalty on Gate City for roughing the passer. I didn't see that flag.
No, I didn't see the flag. So the interception won't stand as Gate City will be called for roughing the passer.
And that'll give Lebanon the first down on their own 35.
Penalties against Gate City, roughing the passer.
So this time they come with one wide out to each side. Stay in the eye. Belcher, the standing tailback. Adams, fullback. They hand off to Belcher running left, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Kaiser again on the tackle, along with Seth Clark.
Tackle made by Seth Clark and
also Derek Miller. Maybe 1 yard gain, be second down and 9. Up to the 36. This time they send those two wideouts to the left. They've been putting that wing back in motion, or flanker back in motion. This time they both stay. They hand off to Belcher out of the tailback spot, and he's thrown for a loss behind the line of scrimmage to Seth Clark. Got a 4-yard loss. So the Blue Devils had that one diagnosed. It'll be a loss of about 4. Brings up third down and 14.
Loss on the play will bring up third and 13.
Ball back at the 32-yard line of Pioneer. Wide out to each side. Duty hands off to his fullback. Fakes the hand off to his fullback. Keeps it and gets across the 35 to the 36. Way short of the first down. Needed to get it to the 45 for a first down. It'll be spotted on the 36. Fourth down and 9 for the Pioneers. 8:50 to go, third quarter. Gate City on top by a score of 30 to nothing.
Number 31, Joseph Bond.
Now they've had problems in this formation, the punting formation. Let's see if they get another high snap. Oh, this was a good snap. Homemaker gets off a short punt that's going to hit at the Blue Devil 45 and take a Gate City bounce to the 46-yard line, and Bond picks it up.
Yeah, they didn't blow the whistle.
It's a live ball. And Bond will run it all the way back into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yep.
That would be a 50-yard touchdown, right? No, a 54-yard touchdown.
Yeah, they didn't blow the whistle.
Joseph Bond just walked in between two Lebanon people, picked it up, and ran it back 54 yards.
I think a player from Lebanon might have touched it, but he hadn't downed it.
No.
And so Vaughn just alertly, he didn't hear a whistle, so he picked it up.
Point after is up and good by Burt. And it's 37-0 Gate City. Logan Bird's kickoff is going to be fielded, fumbled at the 1, picked up by Eads running right, and he's going to be slung down at about the 13-yard line.
Montana Morris on the stop.
Tackle made by number 42, Montana Morris.
And the clock now, Larry, will continue to run as Gate City is up by more than 35. So it should pick the pace up a little here in the second half.
Pioneers take over at their own 13-yard line. 1st and 10, 6:50 to go. And like Mark said, a turning clock. So they'll be in the I formation again. 2 wideouts this time to the left. Beauty under center. Hands off to his fullback and nothing.
Handoff is to Justin Adams.
Adams on the carry, and on the tackle, I believe, is Kilgore, maybe one of the first ones. And the defensive tackle on
made by
the,
Kyle Kilgore and Seth Clark.
yeah, Seth Clark.
Gain of about 1. Second down 9.
Second down and 9 for Calvert, oh lordy, Lebanon. 2 wideouts to the right this time. And again, they put that flanker in motion from right to left. Judy with a long count. Runs the option, keeps it, and is brought down
Keeps on the play.
maybe after a gain of 1 to the 15.
Stopped by Logan Russell and Seth Clark.
Gonna bring up 3rd down and 8. Russell and Clark on the tackle that time for the Blue Devils.
Brings up 3rd and about 7.
5:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Gate City on top. The score 37-0 over the Lebanon Pioneers. Now this time both wideouts flip-flop and go from the right side to the left side. And Honecker is a tight end. Goes from the left side to the right side. So a handoff on a little misdirection play to
Number 4, Justin Adams.
Adams. And it didn't get anything, maybe a yard. It's going to be 4th down and a long 6.
Chase Ellington and number 30, Micah Bledsoe. Makes it 4th down 6.
Bond checks back in to receive the punt.
Number 18, John Honecker.
Just had a 54-yard punt return for a touchdown. Joseph tonight has 3 touchdowns. This time, Honecker's kick is going to hit on the sidelines and kick out of bounds at the Pioneer 43-yard line.
So Gate City will have it 1st and 10 at that point. 4:16 to go, 3rd quarter. They're leading 37-0.
It's just doesn't seem like a Lebanon team that we've been used to.
Well, they're really
young, I know.
Yeah, you can tell. And you combine that playing against an experienced team, and that pretty much is what happens.
Blue Devils in the eye. Fumble the football. I think maybe Gate City able to fall on the football.
They did.
As Dusty Clark, a little problem with the exchange there between the quarterback and the tailback. Lose about 4 yards on the play.
Loss of 3 yards. Second down 13.
It'll be 2nd down and 14 for Blue Devil. We were talking about during the break at halftime about Gate City had run some stuff that we hadn't seen so far this year, trying to get as much stuff on film as they can to not only analyze their own players, but to give other coaches a chance to have to prepare for something different. Option this time from Bowen to pitch to Clark, and he gains maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Tackle made by number 4, Justin Adams.
Maybe lost a yard.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Maybe lost 2 yards.
Yeah.
Be 3rd down and 16.
Loss of 2 will make it 3rd and 15.
Officials tonight are referee Robert Odom, umpire Sam McKinney, linesman Jason Paris, line judge Ben Adams, and back judge Butch Crew. 2:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Gate City on top, 37-0. Devils back to the full house, 2 tight end. As long pass down the field for Montana Morris is going to be caught at the 22, and he takes it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. That's going to be a 48-yard touchdown.
48-yard touchdown pass from Nick Bowen to Montana Morris.
And Larry, all that was is just a play to throw it down the field. If we catch it, good, and if not, we punt it. And
Yep.
Morris was not covered.
No, they've been playing the run so hard.
So it'll be Bird on to attempt the extra point.
Kick is up and good.
44-0, Gate City leads.
Number 22, Logan Bird, kicking for Gate
Back
City.
at Legion Field, Logan Bird will kick off again. Belcher and Eads back. Just a high end over end kick. It's going to be fielded by Belcher at his 5, up to the 10, 15, 20, and brought down at about the 22-yard line.
Number 5, Chris Belcher on the return.
And on the tackle that time for the Blue Devils would be Travis Gillenwater, number 81.
Stop made by number 81, Travis Gillenwater, and number 40, Aaron Kaiser.
Only 13 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
22.
As the clock continues to run, don't know that Lebanon will get a playoff. And it doesn't look like they will, so we will tell you at the end of 3 quarters of play, it's Gate City 44, Lebanon nothing.
Back to start the 4th quarter. Gate City on top by a score of 44-0. Pioneers have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line, 22-yard line. Pass over the middle, complete from Duty to Honaker, and he gets up across the 45 to the 46, but there's a yellow hanky on the play. Maybe against Gate City.
As the receiver Honaker is down, and somebody probably should go check on him. Nobody from Lebanon side. Now finally out they come, and we'll take a break while they attend to Honaker. We'll be back to Legion Field.
Back at Legion Field, where the medical people are still attending to John Honaker. That play resulted in about a 23-yard gain, but the yellow hanky that was on the field was for an illegal man downfield, so that's a 5-yard penalty, and that play is nullified. And Honaker now is going to be hip to his feet, it looks like. We kind of think he may have hurt a shoulder, his right shoulder. And he's one of the senior players on this team. 6'4", 210-pound senior. As they help Honaker to his feet now, and he's able to walk off the field. So he maybe just had a stinger. But we get back to play. It's going to be 1st and 15 for the Pioneers. Ball spotted now at the 17-yard line of Honaker.
Or Lebanon.
But yeah, I love it. Golly, got on. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, I don't want to.
I had to.
Well, I don't blame
I just had to. 44-0, Gate City leads. Just underway 4th quarter.
Ball at the 15-yard line.
1st and 15 for the Pioneers. Little misdirection play, handoff to Belcher, and Seth Clark
Josh Berry.
Was it Josh Berry?
And it was both of them.
Okay, I saw 44.
Yeah, they got there at the same time.
Tackle made by Seth Clark.
Maybe another yard loss on the play. He's going to bring up second down and 16. Ball now back at the 16-yard line. Clock's running. Gate City on top by a score of 44-0. Pioneers this time go into a shotgun formation. Beauty gets a snap, fakes to one man, then rolls out to his left. Looks for a receiver and is chased and brought down by Seth Clark.
Clark and Bledsoe.
Good coverage sack, I believe. When he looked downfield, I don't think he had anybody open. However, number 23, who is Sayers, was at about midfield, and I didn't see a Blue Devil around him. He just might not have had time.
I was going to say, if he's rolling to his left and he wants to throw it back, and he can turn and throw it 40 yards back to the middle of the field, I'd say I like my chances.
And off this time to Adams, and he stopped after a yard gain.
Seth Clark again, three tackles and 3 plays.
I was looking at some of the material that Al Gotzi sends me every week. Seth Clark, they do a point system on defense. He's coming into tonight's game. He's only 1 point ahead of. You'd never guess who the second guy was in line. And
probably Montana Moore.
You're exactly right. That's who it was.
Not surprised.
Good snap this time, and they got to have a new punter because Homeacre was their punter. Punts off the side of his foot, and it takes 11 and roll, and we'll be down by 11 at the Blue Devil 45. Punter that time for Homeacre was Dalton Gilbert.
Gate City will go with the wide offense or the number 2 offense now.
First and 10 Blue Devils.
As the first teamers will be done tonight, leading 44-0. Clock runs 9 minutes to go.
And the quarterback is going to be Michael Collier. Gets an opportunity to come in now. Running backs, fullback is going to be Bledsoe. Bo Morris at one back. Handoff is to Bledsoe, and he gets up to the 40-yard line. A game of about 5 on the play. Collier will bring his team to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 5. 8:15 to go in the ball game. Gate City on top by a score of 44-0. They put the right high back in motion, hand it off to Bo Morris, and he gets inside the 40 down to the 39.
Morris on the carry. Stop made by Justin Adams and Matt Nunley.
Philip Head was in at the right halfback spot that time. Third and 4 for Gate City with 7:45 to go. Gate City on top, 44-0. Blue Devils in the full house, 2 tight end. Collier takes a snap, hands off to Bledsoe, fighting for yardage. Gets down to about the 36-yard line. It's going to be close. About 4th down and a yard and a half, maybe.
Yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and line up and go for it. I would certainly think so.
4th and about 1.
I like the way Micah runs. Micah runs hard. Hits a hole hard.
Built low to the ground, too.
Built low to the ground, yep. And just a sophomore. Al Lebanon brings everybody up except one deep back. And the Blue Devils, I thought, were offside.
Yeah, and he didn't call it, but he waited a long time to call that. It's almost like he said, I think they're going to get that first down. Should penalize them here. I mean, it was after the snap and the handoff.
And Bledsoe did have the first down across.
Yeah.
So that'll back them up 5 yards, and it'll be.
If you purchase a half and half
Now
ticket,
we'll
here's
find.
the winning number.
Yeah, now we will.
It's 704-5
That'll make it 4th down and about 6. Blue Devils will punt.
If you have that, please bring it to the press box.
6:10 to go in the ball game. Now I guess this is going to be our second punt team here too. Let's see who's going to do the punting. It's going to be Miller to do the punting.
Punting for Gate City number 25,
Derek Miller.
Derek Miller.
Clock down to 5 seconds.
Drake Smith.
And the Blue Devils may take a 5-yard loss on top of this. And they do. Penalty for delay of game. They'll move it back 5 more yards.
Something we've not had very many of tonight, is penalties.
You can see Coach Outright saying, take a look at that. Watch that clock over there. I think that was intended to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Miller gets a good snap. Gets off a good high driving punt that is fielded at the 10 and man is brought down at the 12. It's Eads on the return that time. So the Blue Devils got downfield, covered the punt well, and a nice punt by Derek Miller.
The Blue Devils going to work some people in here on the defensive side as Seth Clark checks out.
Pioneers stand with their first team offense, looks like. As Lebanon, I think, is asking for a timeout.
We'll take one too.
Back at Legion Field, 4:42 to go in the ball game. Gate City on top, 44-0. Pioneers have it 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. John Michael Goody, the quarterback. Hands off to Belcher out of the tailback spot, and he's hit right at the 10. Maybe lost the yard or two.
Michael Bledsoe. He hits the hole going either way. Defensively, he gets through the hole, and offensively, carrying the football, he gets through there too.
Peyton Sivert also in on that tackle. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Michael's got a quick first step, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and like I say, I like the way he's built low to the ground. He get pretty good leverage.
It'll be 2nd down and 12, 2-yard loss. Ball spotted back at the 10. And they hand to Belcher, and they hit him behind the line of scrimmage again, but he fights for
Fumble. He fumbled.
Fight
Got
for
it.
extra yardage, and the ball came loose, and it is, as Mark said, recovered by Gate City.
Gillenwater, I believe, on the fumble recovery, 81.
So this second team defense is a hungry little bunch.
Yeah, well.
They hit hard and stripped the ball away. So Collier now will come out to run the Blue Devil offense. Full house backfield for the Blue Devils, 3:25 to go in the game. And off to the left halfback, and that's not going to go anywhere. On the carry that time was Logan Quillen. As Gate City trying to get as much experience during the game as possible, as we have a new back checking in this time. That's going to be Chase Smith, number 43.
Yeah, trying to get everybody in uniform in tonight.
Yep.
Loss of 3 on the play. 2nd down, 13.
Be 2nd down and 13 for Gate City. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the game. And with the score the way it is, as Mark explained earlier in the game, the clock will keep right on running. Tyler Gillenwater to right halfback spot. A handoff to the fullback up the middle, and that's going to be Justin Miles. Oh, well, I thought it was 21.
24.
24. Lex Reed on the carry that time. Devils right now not interested in putting any more points on the board, just trying to get people in the game and trying to run the clock out. No need. 44-0 lead.
You may be on the receiving end of one day, and well, not that we have many times. So yeah,
Full house. Good 3rd down and 13. as Collier looks to the sideline. They tell him to watch the play clock till he gets down. Run as much time off as you can. Hand off that time to Tyler Gillenwater, and
Handoff is to number 4, Tyler Gillenwater.
he's thrown back for a loss.
Stop made by number 73, Robert Quiggs.
So it's going to be 4th down at about 15 for the Blue Devils. And the Blue Devils will go for it. They can run this play clock down, and there'll only be about 40 seconds left in the ball game. Well, about 50 seconds. Fourth down and 14.
Gonna have to hurry to get the play off, and we didn't do it.
Nope, we didn't. That's going to be 4th down about 19. I think he's saying that delay a game, like you said.
Gate City, delay of game.
And
Clock will stop on that one.
yeah, I guess. I'm not real sure why Lebanon was going to the bench. I'll tell you what they've got. They've got 12 players on the field. Yep, there goes one off.
Chop the clock with 52 seconds to go.
Well, why don't you just take another delay game? If they're going to keep starting,
It'd run out, wouldn't it?
it'll eventually run out. Oh, goodness.
4th and 18 from the Pioneer 20. Down to 5 seconds on the play clock. Collier hands off to the fullback, and he gets down back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. And on the carry that time for the Blue Devils was number 45. That would be Tim Muncie.
Number 45, Tim Muncie carries.
So the Pioneers will take over on their own 20 with 26.1 seconds to go in the game, and
Lebanon will take over 1st and 10
not
at their
near
own
enough
20-yard
time to
line.
make up the difference. 44-0, Gate City. They come back with their pretty much their first team offense. Mark said before the game they probably wouldn't score on our second team. So far he's been right. Hand off to Adams at the fullback spot, and he's hit hard.
Number 4, Justin Adams.
Peyton Seibert on the tackle for the Blue Devils, and that very well will be the last play of the ball game.
Number 61, Rusty Vaughn, and number 62, Peyton Seibert.
Well, let's see. They're going to try to get one more play off, I believe. And they will, I believe.
Duty again, hands off to the fullback Adams. He gets up to the 20, and that's the last play of the game. Gate City defeats the Lebanon Pioneers by a score of 44-0.
We'll hold it right here. Larry, go ahead and run down the final scoring if you want to, and we'll wrap it up pretty quick here tonight.
The Blue Devils scored first with 5:41 to go in the first quarter as Montana Morris blocked the punt through the end zone. Gate City picked up a safety that way and went on top of the score 2-0. 4:15 to go in the first quarter. Joseph Vaughn had an 8-yard touchdown run. Logan Bird kicked the extra point. The Devils led 9-0 after one. In the second quarter, with 11:50 to go, Nick Bowen had a 6-yard touchdown run. Again, Logan Bird point after, and the Blue Devils led 16-0. 6:30 to go in the second quarter. Joseph Vaughn on a 7-yard touchdown run. Again, Bird with the point after. Gate City led 23-0. And then with 4:59 to go in the second quarter, Derek Miller had a 4-yard touchdown. Again, Logan Bird, the point after. Gate City led 30-0 at halftime. With 8:23 to go in the third quarter,
Again, there will be a 5th quarter gathering tonight for youth grade 7
Joseph
through 12.
Vaughn picked
That
up
will begin
a
immediately following
punt
tonight's
that we
game at
thought
the Crossroads
was going to be
Community
blown
Center
dead,
downtown Gate City.
but he picked it up, ran it back 54 yards for a touchdown. Bird again with the point after, and Gate City led 37-0 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gate City had a 48-yard touchdown pass from Nick Bowen to Montana Morris. Bird the point after. Final score, Gate City 44, Pioneers Goose Egg.
So the Blue Devils go one up in the Clinch Mountain District, and they're now 3-1 overall. Next week, Appalachia Bulldogs come to Legion Field. It'll be homecoming here at Gate City High School, and be halfway through the season this time next week. It's hard to believe, but that's the way it'll be. But a 3-1 start, and then look to try to get a big win on homecoming. Like I say, always a big week here at Gate City. There is a community-wide pep rally next Thursday night. That'll be held here on the campus of Gate City High School. So everybody come out next Thursday night for that, and then Friday night for the homecoming football game with the Bulldogs from Appalachia. So pretty much from start to finish tonight, the Blue Devils dominate the Pioneers in convincing fashion, winning 44-0. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up. For Tim Hill and Larry Shelton, Mark Peters, good night.